All right. Now we're recording on Audacity so we can make a podcast later on. So for those of you just joining us, because I just started recording on Audacity, of course this is the Sunday Morning Mug. I'll run through it again really quick. Of course I'm always joined by the Bass Pro Shop mug, and I am drinking water tonight because water is good for the soul. So jumping back to now where we left off. Hold on. I'm getting a bunch of people asking me how to join. So for those of you who just joined us on the podcast, I'm also live on Facebook right now, so I apologize if this is kind of choppy, but I'm trying to coordinate this and everything. I need a producer. Babe, get up here. Produce this for me. Be my producer. Hang on one second. Video. But yeah, anyways, so tonight me and the wife, we went to this this harvest festival thing, harvest party thing, things that churches put on as an alternative to trick-or-treating, Halloween in general, stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun, and it was actually, like I was saying, it was an answer to a prayer I've been having, because I've been a little, with this current church we've been going to, I've been a little, I don't know what the word would be for it, like, I don't even know what you would call it, like, I've been feeling kind of, like, off on the sidelines, I guess, just because it's more of a older crowd that goes there. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just kind of the area that the church is located in. It's just kind of an older crowd that's going to be going there. So I've been kind of feeling left out a little bit, and it's been on my, been in my prayers, been asking God, hey, can you bring a couple to me and my wife that, we, we'll have things in common with and stuff, because, we can hang out with, and have stuff in common, all that fun jazz. And we actually met that couple tonight, and they seemed pretty cool, really nice people. And I was, really happy that we went. It was a fun time. Kids had a whole lot of fun. One thing, there was a balloon dartboard thing, and I mean, it was fun, and I'm not, trying to complain or anything, but maybe next time, don't have like sharp darts. Just because there's kids and sharp darts. It actually was fine, but it's a little scary. Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun, and there was a chili cook-off at this oh my goodness, at this, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I've been under these box lights like all day doing a bunch of different videos. There's a chili cook-off that was kind of like the main event of this harvest festival thing. And I gotta say, like, I have not ever in my life tasted so many delicious chilies in my life. And as I often do, I overate a little bit. Feeling kind of full right now, man. Not gonna lie to you. Hey, YouTube, how you doing? Miss ya. I'm not neglecting you, I promise. But if for those of you who don't know, I got a little camera over here that I'm going to be posting to YouTube as well. So I'm not like just over here talking to like an imaginary friend or anything. I'm not crazy. Stop it. Anyways, so yeah, it was the chili cook-off was really fun. There was this one chili that actually the couple that I was talking about, they made it. The husband made it, and it was like the most phenomenal chili I've ever had in my life. I mean, there was bacon in it. There was like these chunks of it was like a meat lover's chili, It was pretty good, and I had that one, and then of course I had my wife's. I honestly didn't have any of the others, because by that time I had been full on that, and then eating nachos, and just a lot of eating. So I was pretty full after all that. And little shout out, because Mrs. Leha, there in the chat. If you want to shoot her a congratulations. She actually won the chili cook-off, so big shout out to her. Congratulations, babe. Your chili was awesome. I loved it. I always love it. She makes it whenever there's a football game on. Whenever the Bears are playing specifically, she typically makes it. It's really, really good. So if you guys want to shoot her a little congratulatory message or something, that would be awesome. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and the kids got to meet some other kids, and it finally felt like I finally was kind of gelling with the church, kind of starting to mesh with the church and everything, which was really nice, because that's something that I've been really praying about, is just I've been wanting to just feel like I was a part, and like I had people that I could relate to and all that stuff. Kind of selfish, but whatever. But it was nice to see that prayer being answered. You're welcome, babe. It was really good. And yeah, so I mean, that was basically it. So I got this pop filter today. Not a huge fan of it, to be honest with you. It's just kind of big. I don't know. Like, I'm just not a huge fan of it. It works great, though. I mean, my plosives are... I mean, just check this out. I could not do this without this thing. Please bring pizza pronto. Are your ears not dead? It's because of the pop filter, man. It's pretty awesome. But it performs really well, but it just aesthetically, I don't like it. Hold on, my phone is blowing up. People... If you're watching this, did you get a notification to join? Because for some reason people are not getting it or not seeing it. Interesting. Gosh, this pop filter really makes the audio sound way better. I'm just catching it in my monitors and I am liking it. Just a brief intermission here. Whoa! Oh, Inception. That was like a broadcast inception. Strange. I'm not sure why, Pastor Jake. I'm not sure why you're not getting it. I don't know. Anyways, so for those of you watching, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you haven't yet, go also check out the podcast. It's on Spreaker. It's also on the Sunday Morning Mug Facebook page. You can check it out there. It'll take you to the link and do all the work for you. So what I'm going to be doing tonight, it's going to be kind of a shorter podcast. I just wasted like 15 minutes, but trying to meet it up a little bit. But it's going to be more of a, as far as the actual content we'll be going through, it's going to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to be finishing up Habakkuk. And for those of you who, I'm sure most of you know, but for those of you who don't know, Habakkuk is one of the minor prophets, my personal favorite book, one of my personal favorite books. Jonah is my other one. Basically, the story goes is Habakkuk, he's a prophet of God. He sees just a bunch of bad stuff going on in Judah. Taylor is congratulating herself on her own chili. What are you doing? You silly lady. But yeah, he basically just sees a bunch of bad stuff going on in Judah, and he's upset that basically that God doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. The righteous are just getting swallowed up by all this evil that's going on. Then God replies, and they have this whole conversation. God replies basically saying that, yeah, it's bad now, but it's about to get real bad. He basically lets them know that he's bringing up the Babylonians. They're going to be coming in, just going ham, wrecking stuff, and it's just going to be a bad day for everyone. Gotta love that H2O. Then, of course, Habakkuk is, confused, and then God, it's basically, and we'll get into kind of the overarching theme here in a little bit, and I think it's a really good theme for just kind of the state of the world today. Oh, okay. Anyway, so basically, so I am sorry. This whole live broadcast thing is real. I need a producer, babe. Get up here. I got people texting me, people messaging. It's going a little crazy. But anyways, so Habakkuk, God reveals his plan. He's going to be bringing up the Babylonians. They're going to come, destroy everything, wreck everything. Then, of course, God, reveals that he's going to be using this for his glory. This brings us to chapter 3. So chapter 3, so a little bit of history on Habakkuk. There's not a lot known about him. And really what we can learn about him is, kind of in this short little book, only 3 chapters. For those of you who don't like to read, it's a good place to start. So from what we can actually gather a little bit from chapter 3, Habakkuk was more than likely, in fact, he probably was a Levite. Now, what is a Levite? So a Levite is basically, kind of to put it in basic terms, it's kind of like the worship leaders of the ancient world. So he kind of led worship, sing-songy stuff for the worship of God and everything in the temples or the synagogues or whatever they were worshiping in those days. And he's kind of an interesting character in the whole entire Bible too, just because usually with the prophets, and Jonah is an interesting case too, usually with the prophets, they're going in, they're rebuking Israel, just telling them that they're doing a bad time, but doing bad things, I should say. But in Habakkuk's case, he never really does that. He just he more so argues with God, which is interesting. You don't really see that too often with the prophets like Isaiah or Jeremiah or anything like that. They don't really argue with God. They just kind of, they're the golden children or whatever. They just kind of do what they're told and everything, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's interesting that we get this dynamic too, because I feel like this is very relatable. And then also Jonah too, he kind of has I guess you'd say a spat with God as well, which is interesting to see too. And we'll get into why, a little bit more deeper into why, Habakkuk's a Levite and all that here too. I'm just going to go ahead and read through chapter 3. If you have a Bible with you close by, go ahead and grab it real quick if you want to follow along. If not, just sit tight and get ready for the ride. Gosh, this audio is so fantastic now. I'm so happy with it. Okay, so chapter 3 starts off, a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet on Shigionoth. Now, Shigionoth, that's kind of our first clue as to Habakkuk being a Levite, because a Shigionoth is, from what I've researched and what I read, it's kind of just like a song, a wandering melody is what I got a lot. So I don't know if this was something like, they were walking and singing or something. Maybe one of you can put it in the comments. Let me know what that is all about. Oh, she's sweet. No, I don't need you, babe. It's quieted down quite a bit. Where's your producer, Steven? I don't know. Where is Steven? I don't know. But I do have the Bass Pro Shop cup, so I'm good. I'm pretty good here. I appreciate you showing up, Pastor Jake. You can go to bed if you need to. I don't want to keep you up. Anyways, so Shigionoth, like I said, that's kind of just like a walking melody, is from what I've read. It's basically just stating that this whole chapter is basically just a song of praise and things of that nature. So it starts off, verse 2, O Lord, I have heard your speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive your work in the midst of the years. So basically saying, just let this all come to pass very quickly. He just wanted to get this done and over with. In the midst of the years, make it known. In wrath, remember mercy. Still kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like trying to make a deal with God kind of thing there. I just think it's interesting. God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Parah. Now here's a part that's interesting. If you're reading in the New King James, at least in my version right there, it splits off verse 3 and verse 4 with the word that says Selah, or Selah. Not exactly sure how to pronounce it, to be honest with you. But basically what that is, it's a interlude, kind of like a break in the song for the, I guess, the congregation. I don't know if that's what they called them back then, but in modern days it'd be a break for the congregation to just kind of be silent, reflect, prayer. It's kind of like now in modern worship, when the worship team will just stop singing and just play their instruments, and just you can have that moment with God and everything. So it's kind of, that's what Selah is, and that's another reference to Habakkuk being a Levite, or another more evidence, I guess, for him being a Levite. I don't know why I'm doing this like investigative thing. It's not like a big deal that he was a Levite or anything. It's not a bad thing. So verse 3 continues, actually. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. Verse 4, his brightness was like the light. He had rays flashing from his hand, and there his power was hidden. Before him went pestilence, and fever followed at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He looked and startled the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills bowed. His ways are everlasting. So it's just speaking to the power of God there. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The curtains of the land of Midian trembled. O Lord, were you displeased with the rivers? Was your anger against the rivers? Was your wrath against the sea? Right there was your wrath against the sea. Kind of reference. It's a reference to when God split the Red Sea. For those of you who like to find that kind of stuff, Habakkuk was a Levite. He was very interesting. Where was I? You distracted me, Pastor Jake. Was your anger against the rivers? Was wrath against the sea? That you rode on your horses, your chariots of salvation. Your bow was made quiet, ready. Oaths were sworn over your arrows. Then another Selah. If you know how to pronounce that word, let me know, because I would like to pronounce it correctly. But again, the Selah, just kind of a moment of reflection, just that pause again in the song. You divided the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered its voice and lifted its hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of your arrows they went. Now, the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. Don't quote me on this, because I don't know if this is correct. I want to do a little bit more research on this, and I'll get back to you guys. But I believe that I was in a Bible study a few weeks ago, and I believe that this particular verse is talking about when God caused basically the sun and the moon to stand still in the sky, so Joshua could finish killing his enemies. Just an interesting little part there. I don't know if that's in fact what it's referencing. Like I said, I'll be doing a little bit more research. But I found that interesting that portion was there. But if you know that that's in fact what's referenced, let me know, because that'd be interesting to find out. At the light of your arrows they went. At the shining of your glittering spear, you marched through the land in the indignation. You trampled the nations in anger. You went forth for the salvation of your people, your salvation with your anointed. You struck the head from the house of the wicked by laying bare foundation to neck. Another Selah. So let's pause and reflect, everybody. Let's see what you guys are saying in this pause and reflection. Salah? Salah? That's what I'm getting. I don't know. I'm more than likely butchering it. I'm sure the good Lord forgives me. I'm trying my best. I don't speak fluent Hebrew, unfortunately. You thrust through with his own arrows. Now, this one was interesting. Let me see if I can find it in my notes. No, I can't find it, so I'm not going to speak to it because I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. If you're curious about that, I'll probably post that on the Facebook page or something. The head of his villages, they came out like a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was like feasting on the poor in secret. You walked through the sea with your horses, through the heap of great waters. When I heard, my body trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. Now that's interesting. So it took me a while. So verse 16 is an interesting one. So right here, it's actually very, very poetic, and I really love this verse. So the beginning part kind of sounds like Habakkuk is scared of God's voice, of God just doing all these powerful things. But it's not so much he's not really scared of God. He's more just like astonished at the power, I guess it would be. Then that last little piece there, that I might rest in the day of trouble. He's just so amazed, and he feels so protected by this amazing power that he knows he can rest in the day of trouble when Babylon comes and takes over and everything. He knows that the Lord is going to protect him, and he is going to be able to rest and everything. That's that little portion there. The first time I read it, it seemed a little confusing, but when you get the context on it, it makes sense. It's still a little confusing, but it makes sense. Don't argue. When he comes up to the people, he will invade them with his troops. Then verse 17 is just another hymn of faith. I think this was probably the official song that he was going to give to the chief of musicians, as you'll see it referenced here at the end. Though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, through the labor of... What is wrong with me? I cannot read tonight. Though the labor of the olive may fail, and the fields yield no food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. The Lord is my strength. He will make my feet like deer's feet. He will make me walk on high hills, to the chief of musicians with my stringed instruments. Now that portion right there, just kind of solidifies that Habakkuk is a Levite, because only Levites were authorized to have instruments, at least from what I've read and researched. So that's kind of the last little portion there. It's not a bad thing to be a Levite. If I'm making it sound bad, it's not a bad thing. I feel like I'm kind of making it sound like a bad thing. It's not. So the overarching theme of Habakkuk is, and the reason why I wanted to go over this is because I think in just today's day and age, with everything going over, this book is so stinking relevant. So, just look at the state of our world today. You got people freaking out over Donald Trump. You got people, freaking out over Kavanaugh, whether they're good people or not good people. I'm not saying either way. But you just got all this just chaos going on, and it just seems like it's not getting any better. And the unfortunate answer is it's probably not going to get better just yet. It's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. But what we have to remember is, God's in complete 100% control. He knows what's going on. Hi, YouTube. I haven't forgotten about you. I don't like Facebook more. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to talk to YouTube real quick because they were getting upset. I'm sure. You guys, sorry. But yeah, just in this day and age, it's just important to remember, that no matter what's going on, no matter, who's in the Oval Office, who's, whoever, just no matter what kind of leadership is in power, no matter what's going on socially, God is the reason that that's happening. God is allowing it to happen. It's part of his plan. So we need to, like Habakkuk was doing here, instead of worrying, instead of stressing, instead of, just allowing ourselves to just kind of lose sight of God and just get wound up in all this craziness going on, we need to just, be in prayer, be in praise of God, just, be patient and wait for, the next step in his plan, next steps in his plan. 'Cause it's coming, guys. It's coming. He hasn't forgotten about us. He has a whole thing lined out. It's not here yet. And I think that's how we, that's how we start, losing sight of everything, is we can't see it, and we don't know when it's coming. We don't know where it's going. We don't like to not know. And it's just a human thing to just want to know everything. And I think, just resting in the Lord, just being silent, being patient is a very important thing for us to do right now in these times, because honestly, it's probably going to get worse. It's probably not going to get any better. Things are just going to get crazier. The economy is going to get worse. The housing market's going to get worse. Just everything's going to get worse, probably before it even starts getting better. But God, in the end, will be faithful to his people. He's going to, as we see in Habakkuk, he basically lists out, the fact that he's going to use, not only is he's going to use Babylon to punish Judah, but then he's also going to punish Babylon. He's not going to forget about them, So, we see all this just evil going on in the world, just this craziness. Just remember, he may just be using all this to, there's potential he could be using this all to just, maybe give us a little slap on the hand. I don't know. But just know that in the end, it's all going to make sense in the end. It's all going to be used for God's glory, So just don't even stress about it. Just be like Habakkuk, worship God. Thank him for just being faithful, because he always is. God is always faithful. And that's just what we got to remember, is he's not going to let us down. He won't. You're going to be okay. Whatever you're going through right now, whether it's, health problems, whether it's financial, whatever, God has got you. As long as you're following him and seeking him, praying to him, throughout the whole deal. I don't know what that was. He will have your back. He will take care of you. Just be in prayer. Be sure you're seeking him first, and he'll take care of the rest. You'll be fine. All right, guys. So I promised you just kind of a short video. This is now going somewhere around the range of 20 minutes or so. Oh, that's good H2O. If you haven't done it yet, be sure to go and like. Oh my goodness, I'm brain dead right now. Be sure to go and like the Sunday Morning Mug Facebook page. Also be sure to go and download this episode and every other episode. That helps me out tremendously. And share it too, man. Just post it wherever you want. You don't need my permission. Yeah, just, get that message out, because I think, especially, Habakkuk is something that I think the world just needs to hear right now. And of course, like the Facebook page, like I said already. Did I miss any plugs? That's so horrible on a Christian podcast to be plugging stuff, but it gets the message out, so whatever. Yeah, and go like me on Twitter, or follow follow the Sunday Morning Mug on Twitter as well. That'd be cool. Or don't. Doesn't really matter to me. Oh, goodness gracious. That chili is giving me some gnarly heartburn. Yeah, and for those of you who did tune in, who did listen to this, whether it was on the podcast, whether it was on YouTube, hi guys, or if it was on Facebook, I appreciate you checking it out. Oh, goodness gracious. I am getting some gnarly heartburn right now, guys. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking it out. I do this every Sunday. I might be doing a live stream Saturday night. It was just kind of fun, so I might do it again. Who knows? If you liked it, let me know. Send me a comment, send me a message, send me something. Just let me know, and I'll be sure to do it again for... Well, probably not for you, but I'll probably do it again. But anyways, yeah, just let me know what you thought of it. It's just kind of a new thing. I'm babbling now. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired and brain dead and full, and I just want to go to sleep and go into a food coma and just wake up in December or something like that. So yeah, just once again, guys, just signing off here. Thank you so much for checking this out. Again, be sure to go follow me on all my social media platforms. Be sure to go download the podcast as well. If you have any prayer requests, I love praying for people. Just let me know. Send me a message, send me a text, however you can contact me. Just let me know. I just want to pray for you. So yeah, just let me know. I am still babbling. I'm so sorry. So yeah, again, my name is Isaac Leah. I've been your host. This has been the Sunday Morning Mug. I'm going to go to sleep now. Thanks for checking. Oh God, I'm so horrible. Let's do that again. Thanks for stopping by. Good night.